Hey guys, my name's Heidi Bolter, and this is my vlog, Behind the Smile. What I wanted to do with this vlog was to kind of take an opposite side of a success story. I want it to be an outlet for somebody that has had success in their life, weight loss especially, and maybe take a look at what happens after that, what I've gone through, some of my struggles, some things that I would constantly research online to see if anybody's talking about it. Is my feelings and how I'm dealing with things the same, or am I alone in this? So a little bit about me. I am a 40-year-old woman. I work in accounting at the Fredericton International Airport. I have a 17-year-old, soon to be 18-year-old son who's going to graduate from high school and then move hopefully to PEI to do firefighting. I have two stepchildren, 15 and 13, and I have been married for 5, almost 6 years. I am the vice president of FYHA, which is a hockey association here in Fredericton. I am also the vice president of the Senior Women's Soccer League. I currently still play soccer. And I also co-own with my husband a clothing line called My Own Hero. So this all started probably about 7 years ago. So I was very down on myself. I had been struggling with a relationship at the time, and I just decided that, you know what, things need to change. I've always been active. I played competitive soccer, basketball, and volleyball growing up, and I kind of let that go when I became, after I graduated high school. And I kind of picked it up back later on down the road, but I was very unhappy with myself. I wanted to lose weight. And so what I did was I got a personal trainer. It was at New Bodies, which is no longer here in Fredericton. And I lost a substantial amount of weight, about 80, 85 pounds at the time. I kind of plateaued. I would lose some weight, I would gain some weight. I was working out at the gym, I wasn't working out at the gym. So fast forward a few years, and I decided that once we started the clothing line, the My Own Hero, which is finding your inner strength, being whatever you want to be, being somebody that makes you happy, finding it within yourself to do anything or overcome anything. I always wanted to be, or try bodybuilding, to see if I could do one of their preps per se. So what I did is I hooked up with a coach, and I decided to do a show in 2017. So I started prepping in July of 2017. So within the last 2 years, I've done 7 shows. I've also competed at 2 transformation challenges and lost about another 35 to 40 pounds. I really didn't gain a whole lot of weight in those or have any bad bounce backs like people do after they come off a prep, because I was constantly going into another prep. I don't think I was off a prep for longer than a month. And at that time I was still very active in the gym. So my last show was in July of 2018. So it's been about 10 months since I've been in a show, and I have bounced back horribly, which is completely all me. Not eating right, not going to the gym, loss of motivation, all those kinds of things. I have struggled with anxiety for quite some time. I have noticed that it's gotten much worse in the last 8 months. There was a few events that happened in August here in Fredericton, as well as I had taken, had gone to Toronto for a trip. And those kind of things kind of set it off, I feel, more so than normal. So my anxiety stems from situational anxiety, kind of like I'm terrified of flying. I don't like roller coasters. I'm not really a good passenger in a vehicle. I need to be driving. I don't take trains. I don't take buses. I find myself getting anxious when Dre's on the ice, those kinds of things. So it's very much situational as opposed to like social anxiety. I don't mind being in big crowds. I could go to the gym and it could be packed and I could still get my workout in. That doesn't affect me. I am a very shy person, and a lot of people have told me once I've gotten to know them and become friends with them that they were intimidated by me, or they thought that I was mean. Just because I am so shy, I don't talk to people that I don't know, unless you come up to me, and then definitely I'll talk and chit chat. And so I've heard it for several years. I don't think it's an anxiety thing. I definitely think it's a self-esteem thing. I'm not confident with myself, so I don't engage or step out of my comfort zone to talk to people unless I know them very well. Also, in the last 10 years, I have struggled with a thyroid disease. I have hypothyroidism, which means my metabolism is pretty much next to non-existent. I have struggled with this back and forth from the doctors, especially the last probably year and a half, greatly. I have to get my blood tested every 6 to 10 weeks. And it's always changing. My prescriptions are always changing because my levels are always changing. They're never consistent. I have been on medication, Synthroid, at the highest dose that I can take for my age. I have been referred to a specialist in St. John, which I've seen. So they're keeping an eye on things. So as of right now, we're just going with the blood work back and forth, trying new things, figuring it out, and that kind of thing. I don't necessarily know if it's an age thing or if it was a prep thing. I'm not really sure. I've got all kinds of different symptoms, really dry skin, rashes, being underactive thyroid. I mean, I can gain weight looking at lettuce. I'm tired a lot. Systemically, like in my stomach, I've got stomach issues, irritable bowel, and that kind of a thing, which all stems from the hypothyroidism. So what I wanted to do with this blog was to talk about those things, talk about what it's like to gain weight after shows or after a success. Not necessarily a bodybuilding show, but after having lost weight. How do you maintain that? How do you keep your motivation going? I also wanted to talk about the thyroid and bring people along with me on my struggle and how do I deal with it? What do I have to do next? To show people what it's like to have hypothyroidism, a day in the life kind of a thing, the blood work appointments, the naps that I take. And sometimes I feel like people think that I'm being lazy or that kind of a thing, but I get so tired some days that I just can't get out of my own way. And just a 20-minute, 30-minute, sometimes it's a bit longer, of a nap, and I can bounce back and I'm good for the evening. So typically I do take naps after work, especially if it's a work day that's been very busy for me. I get really tired. If I've been sick, which I am right now, I get tired really, really easily. So I've been napping the last couple weeks, trying to get my strength back up and that kind of a thing. When I'm prepping or if I've gone to the gym early in the morning, I have to take naps. And not every day I take naps. Some days I just lay there just to decompress, relax, that kind of a thing. But typically I do take naps. And I also wanted to bring people along to show them how I struggle with anxiety, what I do, what are my tricks, what help I've received, and that kind of a thing. So I just wanted to be on the opposite side of a success story and what it's like to struggle afterwards and feel like you have all that pressure on you to maintain what you've done. I mean, being the hero girl or the my own hero girl, having lost the weight, having done well at the transformation challenges, and losing 110 pounds at one point, like in total, to having gained 30 pounds back. I mean, I have to learn to feel comfortable in myself again. I need to get motivated to go back to the gym. Since being sick, I've had also a foot injury from soccer. So I haven't been to the gym in about 4.5 weeks. And there's no reason why I can't right now. I know that I'm still not feeling 100%, but I definitely can go lift weights and that kind of a thing. So I want to show people the struggles that I go through, just to keep going with the fitness journey and health journey. So I'm going to take this and show everybody how the opposite of a success story looks, for me anyway. And my goal is to maybe even just reach one person, to show them that they're not alone, or that it is something that people are struggling with, and that maybe they could help me, I could help them, and go from there. So in the next few clips, it'll show some struggles that I've gone on, maybe some situations that I've run into, getting back to the gym for the first time, and so on. So again, welcome to my YouTube channel, and looking forward to it.